All right, friends, since you guys like to know what I'm reading, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the article that really just blew my mind today. So the title is Consciousness in Robots Was Once Taboo, Now It's the Last Word by Oliver Wang. It was published by the New York Times. I'm an auditory learner, so I like to listen to articles. This service is super cool because you can read it as you're listening to it. It's so aesthetically pleasing. I don't know how to describe it. The article starts off and it's talking about how animals have a natural selection code that, all humans, since we are also animals, basically we have this function where over time we replicate the most successful parts of our genes. And so this doctor was kind of theorizing, can I replicate that in AI, in code, in a robot so that they can basically improve upon themselves, but at a really rapid pace. Computer scientists and theoretical physicists have been thinking for a long time about what will happen when technology and biology really come together. Ray Kurzweil is sort of a big, person in this field. He coined the term the singularity, which is the convergence of technology and biology when it can essentially improve upon itself and be sentient. Michio Kaku, who's also one of my favorite theoretical physicists, has so many interesting things to say about this in the physics of the future, especially with regards to nanobots and how they'll be able to, repair damaged organs and all of the healthcare implications of developing technologies. So according to the article, in the engineering computation world, it was kind of taboo to talk about sentience because people just basically thought you were crazy. But over time, as more experiments were being done, they were oh, this actually might be possible. One of the sort of touchstones of technology is the idea of, this kind of utopic, one day when we cure cancer, one day when we reverse aging, all of these sorts of things. And this doctor is arguing, well, if we can create AI that is sentient, they can essentially improve upon their intelligence so fast and so much that they can cure cancer and they can reverse aging. We don't have to be limited by the human brain. Apparently, formal artificial intelligence research began at my alma mater in 1955, which I think is hilarious. I thought this was pretty fascinating. It said, according to Dr. Lipson, the fundamental difference among types of consciousness, human consciousness and octopus consciousness and rat consciousness, for example, is how far into the future an entity is able to imagine itself. So kind of giving the definition that consciousness is the ability to replicate your scenarios that you would be in a daily life to predict future threats or future joys or any sort of future self. And in the animal world, of course, lots of, labs do this test of when an animal can recognize itself in the mirror, it's if it can see itself and recognize that it is a separate entity, what does that mean for its consciousness? Interestingly, Dr. Chella believes that consciousness can exist without language. And there are other philosophers and physicists who agree. I loved in this Scientific American article where they said consciousness is everything you experience. It's the tune stuck in your head, the sweetness of chocolate mousse, the throbbing pain of a toothache, the fierce love for your child. I'm really curious. I'm out of time. But what is your perception of consciousness? How would you define it if you had to?